On this day in history, September 9th, 1488, Anne becomes sovereign Duchess of Brittany, becoming a central figure in the struggle for influence that leads to the union of Brittany and France. Included in the following is an excerpt from the 1944 edition of the Encyclopaedia Britannica going over the history of Anne. Anne of Brittany, born 1477, died 1514, Duchess of Brittany and Queen Consort of France, daughter of Francis II, Duke of Brittany, and Marguerite de Foix. She was scarcely 12 years old when she succeeded her father as Duchess, September 9, 1488. Charles VIII aimed at establishing his authority over her claim. Alain de Albert wished to marry her. Jean de Rohan claimed the duchy, and her guardian, the Marshal de Rieux, was soon in open revolt against his sovereign. In 1489, the French army invaded Brittany. In order to protect her independence, Anne concluded an alliance with Maximilian of Austria, who married her by proxy, December 1490. But Maximilian was immersed in Austrian affairs and could not defend his bride, and in 1491 the young Duchess was besieged at Rennes, and compelled to treat with Charles VIII. The terms of peace included the rupture of her marriage with Maximilian and marriage with Charles. The two sovereigns made a reciprocal agreement as to their rights and pretensions to the crown of Brittany, but in the event of Charles predeceasing her, Anne undertook to marry the heir to the throne. Nevertheless, in 1492, after the conspiracy of Jean de Rohan, who had endeavored to hand over the duchy to the King of England, Charles VIII confirmed the privileges of Brittany, and in particular guaranteed to the Bretons the right of paying only those taxes to which the Assembly of Estates consented. After the death of Charles VIII in 1498, without issue, Anne ruled in Brittany, and in January 1499 she married Louis XII, who had just repudiated Joan of France. The marriage contract was ostensibly directed in favor of the independence of Brittany, for it declared that Brittany should revert to the second son or to the eldest daughter of the two sovereigns, and, failing issue, to the neutral heirs of the Duchess. Until her death, Anne occupied herself personally with the administration of the duchy. In 1504, she made an agreement for the marriage of her daughter, Claude of France, to Charles of Austria, the future Emperor Charles V. But this unpopular agreement was broken, and the Queen had to consent to the betrothal of Claude to Francis of Angoulême, who in 1515 became King of France as Francis I. Thus the way was prepared for the definitive reunion of Brittany and France.